See, Paul sums up all the ungodly behavior with this warning: flee idolatry. See, now for some of you, this might be confusing because you think, well, getting drunk is sin, and lying is sin, and arguing against God is sin, and sex before marriage is sin, and sex, outside of your marriage is sin, and, sexual sin, pornography, and all that. Again, all that sin. Isn't idolatry just another sin? This is what Paul didn't want these guys to be ignorant of. When he said, I don't want you to be ignorant of this. See, because what Paul didn't want them to be ignorant of was the fact that idolatry is not just another sin, but that idolatry is in fact the underlying root cause of all the sins. Studying the Ten Commandments, Martin Luther noticed that the first two referred to idolatry, and then the remaining 8 were things like sexual sin and stealing and lying and murder and so on. And basically, he surmised that if you never broke the first 2 commandments, that you wouldn't break any of the others also. That you would only have one God that you worshiped, and that you would have no idols. See, if you're a person who drinks too much, and maybe you're here today and you've got to struggle with alcohol, if you're a person who's struggling with addiction to drugs or with lying or, violent outbursts or so on, the underlying issue isn't that you're an alcoholic. The underlying issue isn't that you're a drug addict. Yes, these are sinful behaviors that you need to repent of, but the problem stems from the fact that you are, in fact, an idolater. That's the problem. John Calvin said that the human heart is an idol factory. And it's been said, that the sin in our lives, that it's the fruit that hangs off a bad tree. And a lot of times we think, well, man, I just need to get rid of this bad fruit. I just need, I've got this bad fruit of alcoholism. I just need to get rid of this bad fruit. And that's not true. I mean, yes, you do need to repent of that sin. But just getting rid of that bad fruit, listen, that's not ultimately going to be that which sets you free. See, because the thing is that ultimately what you got to deal with is the root of idolatry underneath it. You got to get to the root.